this week, Horatio. We about to finally get into the springtime, man. Vacation season is here. We in high spirits.
Hey, finally, man. This weather's kind of all over the place. Was hella cold. You know what I'm saying? Now it's warm. But hey, man, I'm feeling good, bro. Let's go ahead and get into it. Shout out to Shame. This may be like a little small one, right? But I want to shame the couples in the gym. Look, I know it's about to be, like you said, it's about to be summertime and everybody's in the gym. We want to work out. Yo, I like PDA, right? But okay, first of all, it's two type of people in the gym now that kind of aggravate me. It's the couples and it's the people that just on their phones doing nothing. Like, yo, I understand we should want to be active, but scrolling TikTok just sitting there is so aggravates me, bro, because it's like they're in the middle of working out, but like we're so used to being on our phones. Brain rot is in the gym, bro. That and horniness in the gym, not like the typical horniness where you just see somebody and you like, oh yeah, she got the Lululemons with the little wedge in between her ass, like, oh, not that. Couples in there like kissing, and I'm like, bro, come on, man. This is a place where you're supposed to be like nasty and dirty and like, ugh, like you're supposed to be looking bad and ugly. I don't know, man. Just couples in the gym really piss me off, and sometimes too, CDK. I don't know if you see this, right? Because obviously the gym is where you let out a lot of like testosterone, like you working out, it's a lot of pheromones or whatever. So the women at the gym, there are guys that are like looking at them because they're like, imagine you like and then you like see like a beautiful woman, like you're gonna naturally put that like energy off, right? So dudes who are with their girl, they'll come in there and try to like let all the guys know that this is my girl in the gym, like it's a club. So I just like that aggravates me, bro. So I just see that. What you think about that in the gym? I see you looking, you looking slim. So you obviously been working out.
Hey man, appreciate you. Down 15 already. So boom, in the gym. I've seen the videos of the couples, and I actually sent this to Shorty, and it was a video of the couples doing ab workouts and passing the medicine ball, and she thumbs it down. And I'm like, why you thumbs it down the video? And I'm like, that's the type of stuff that I like to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really have an issue with it. I do think that like you said, like when you're working out really hard. My issue is I like going to the gym and being the only person in the gym. That's the type of person that I like to be like when I work out, so I can really get down and dirty. I found out when I went to Bad Miles the other day, the run club, I didn't run as hard just because I was around so many people, and you don't want to. But like you said, to some women, men being super sweaty, like really getting dirty and like really doing the real workout, that's attractive to them. To me, I'm
Yeah.
just there more so to socialize and chill and kick it a little bit more.
All right.
So I'll be running, but just like running to there, so it shows that you're not lazy and you can do. But I'm not going to failure. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
to some guys, that's their way of flirting is to show you, okay, I failed in the gym. That means I go to the farthest extreme when I'm doing my activities.
Yeah. And sometimes like that turns people off. Like I had a fat friend of mine in college who did not like going to the gym because he didn't like looking at other guys like do that. Like just be like, like it would be like insecurity wise. But my point is, look, at the gym, you're going there to work out. You're not going there to scroll on your phone. You're not going there to slap your girl's ass just because she does the down up, and you go, oh, what? No, we're going to work out. So I don't like the sit up and then kiss thing. I think that's so corny. I'm like, yo, like if I go to the gym with my girl, I go the complete other way. Either that or we working out. You working out with me. We going, so we're gonna do like you can do what I do, but or we work out together. But I don't like the whole couple thing. I think it's kind of corny. But moving on. Oh my God, yo, have you seen this trend on TikTok? Where millennials are getting it bad, yo. It's like they're starting to joke on millennials like this 2010s era. So there's a song that came out called "We Are Young," not the old "We Are Young," like a new one, like a parody song by this guy named Kyle Gordon. And this has spawned this jokey, like this joke about millennial burger joints, how they are so corny. I don't know if you've seen this. Millennial burger joints, like they kind of all have the same like cut and paste in there. Okay, here's the whole thing. They start off with the storyline is it was just me and my roommate and we just had a dream, and then like the chalkboard, it's the menus and chalkboard, instead of burgers there's handhelds and there's string lights and stuff like that, and people, and there's metal chairs, and the burgers cost $25 or whatever, right? So people are really coming at this brand of like restaurant and just the millennial theme altogether, right? And kind of like it was like an optimism that people had. I don't think that Gen Z has this type of optimism that if you listen to these older songs, the Gen Pop songs, and so yeah, I don't know if you ever seen that or have you heard about that, but it's a big joke about the millennial culture. What do you think about that?
Now the millennials arguing the bad. I have been seeing a little bit of that on TikTok. I haven't seen that trend in particular, but I have been seeing like even dealing with like artists and stuff like that. They talk about how bad. You know what I hear about millennials all the time? Drinking and alcohol, drinking and drugs is what I hear the most about anything millennium related. And also like even with like basketball players and athletes, like people say that like the millenniums glorify the past more than any other generation. And low key, I can agree with that. Like the 90s, 80s babies, I feel like they feel like life was just so much better without that. And I was low key going, this goes into my next like shame. I was talking to some millenniums today about not being able to use GPS, and we were talking about our kids like actually dumb, or getting dumber, or kids like, are we just getting older and we becoming grumpy? And they was like, nah, I think kids are getting worse. And I'm like, well, as a person that went through both generations of like having cellular devices and electronics and also not having it, having the choice and option gives us the option to critical think. Now, I do believe now, because we have so many resources, like with me with GPS, we never use MapQuest and stuff like that. So if my phone dies, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably not going to be able to know where to go. I mean, I can read the signs, obviously, but one of the guys was telling me about one time he drove from New York to Alabama, and he did it off the memory because he knew where his uncle stayed at. And he added 4 hours to his trip because he took the wrong turn and didn't know where to go. I couldn't even fathom doing something like that because I got GPS. Like, I'm like, man, hell no. Like, and my mom hates that I use GPS. My older sister, all of that.
That I think that we're not really talking about how cell phones are really ruining us, bro. Like, and this goes into like a topic I had too, like where we talk about cell phones in schools, right? But just in general, like you do lose a bit of your human connection to the world and what you're around when you are dependent on something. Like, for instance, it took the dude 4 hours to get there, but he got there. He got there without a phone because he was using. It's like the slaves. Them niggas was just using the stars and shit that got him. So it's like there's something that you can use within yourself. It's like the phone does like disconnect you from that. But going into my topic where they talk about like I forgot what state it is. A state is trying to statewide ban phones in high schools and whatever. It's not going to work. We are addicted to this shit. It's not even the teachers. It's everybody. It's the students too. So I mean, excuse me. It's not just students. It's the teachers. Like it's going to be hard for them to do that. They're making TikToks. They have a culture with their phones and their students, and you know what I'm saying, it's a part of their lives as well. Like, yo, we're gonna have to like drop this whole thing of these kids have to get educated like we were educated. It cannot happen. They might learn better with short bursts of knowledge. Like however they're gonna have to do it, but you can't try to fit them in our old ass school box textbooks and binders. Hell no. No. They're not doing that. They're gonna be shit. 20 years they're gonna have a Neuralink in their head, and you're gonna have to figure out how to be a hologram teacher or whatever. Whatever it is, you're gonna have to really adapt. So I'm all about adapting when it comes to conversation like that rather than like, oh, they're getting worse, because they're not getting worse. They have no choice. If you was doing the same thing, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing when we talk about like relationships and social media. Like if our grandparents had for Instagram, would they be married for 30 years and all that type of stuff? Who knows? You know? So we kind of have to adapt as time goes on. But yeah, man. I mean, we are getting like depend on this stuff. Like if your phone dies and you don't know where you're going, it's like that's my number one concern now. It's how do I get my phone? Like, how do I get my phone back on? How do I? Because this is what I know. So it's like, yeah, man, it sucks, bro. But that's why they're gonna all hook us up. They're gonna put a chip in us. I'm telling you, it's gonna be something. Moving on. Real quick, just some nostalgia shit, right? So we kind of in like the nostalgia bag. Yo, okay, talk about the barbershop, right? Yo, the DVD man was so impactful in the black barbershop. The reason I say that because I go to a Dominican barbershop, right?
Mm.
And they had like a DVD, they had like a CD guy coming there selling CDs in 2025. And I was like, damn, this is like the same version, but the black version. It made me think about all like the marketplace that the barbershop was. You know, we always talk about like the conversations and whatever, but just the fact that it was somebody always selling something. You know, like you could always different ladies. Oh, it's the Kate lady, a pie lady, or whatever. So just that community when we talk about phones or whatever, that's the kind of stuff is lost too. Is like, just all having access to it to whereas, yeah, you get to talk to somebody when you talk to the DVD man. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't have to. I can just go on Netflix or whatever. So it's like you eliminate that communication. It makes you more reliant on your phone.
Then also too, I think actually paying attention to the content that you're consuming has went down as well, because when you
Mm.
had to buy music, when you had to rent DVDs, when you had to those are the two things I'm talking about right now. When you had to actually pay for your entertainment and it wasn't on demand or by subscription based, so you're still paying for it but just not directly, you're like, oh, I can just watch it again later, or I can listen to the song again later. I can, and even me when I'm consuming albums and things like that, I don't consume it to the same degree of when I bought Chris Brown's first album and had it on the CD and had it in my CD player and listened to it a million times, or even in the car, to where you're retaining the information that you're being presented. So I definitely think that that's a lost art as well. And even in the barbershops, like you said, when you're we talk about the conversations most of the time, but going into like buying stuff hand to hand and things like that, I think you had a more of a commercial, emotional connection with the products that you were purchasing.
Yeah, yeah, and with that, and just the local appeal of it too. Like, you missed that. It's all. It's more like we're more tapped in. That's like something like state and local pride. Like that stuff before cell phones too. That was really like more serious. More cities was like, yo, they wore a area code or whatever. Like that was more of a thing. I think with cell phones, where we lose, like we kind of lose that a little bit because we're all on the same app. So like, yeah, we're in different cities, and different cities have different things. But still, it's still like it's not as strong as it was back in the '80s for
Mm-hmm.
sure. It can't be. All right, moving on. Okay, did you see the thing that happened with Steve Smith Senior?
With the cheating on the wife and
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Now we don't really gotta get into his type of situation so deep, but it's something I always think about when I think about cheating. Maybe I haven't got to that level of like age yet, to where I hate my wife or like I'm so tired of my wife. I don't like the cheating where you like love the other person. Like they were like texting each other, like, oh, you would, and kind of like on some high school shit, like, oh, like I'm like, that's the shit that makes you mad because it's like, but maybe again, I'm thinking it should be straight physical. Maybe as an older man, you probably just want somebody just to be nicer to you. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just like fucking. Now, granted, they were fucking as well, but like it's like I knew a girl that was a stripper, and she told me that when guys pay for like the back room things, a lot of guys just want you just to like talk to them, just to be like nice to them or whatever. So it's like I haven't got to that stage emotionally, but that's always weird. Cheating like emotionally, having text with her like, oh, like baby, da da da. But okay, if you don't know the story, the Steve Smith, he cheated with on his wife with a lady that works at the Baltimore Ravens marching band. I guess she's over the band, and the husband found out. Her husband found out and called him and was kind of like, you ruin my shit, I'm gonna ruin your shit. Kind of, I'm gonna put it out there on blast or whatever. And when you're going up, these athletes, these D1 athletes, you're getting pussy thrown at them crazy. It's hard to, let that go, even if you're married, I would imagine. But yeah, I thought that was so weird. Just like, now, granted, if you're a guy and you go through your girl's phone and you find her texting a professional athlete or just somebody at her job or whatever, I don't think it's my first thing to call the guy
No, absolutely not. Hell no.
and then film it and then put it on social media. It's
No,
like,
no, 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 no. The only time I would do that is if I feel like he's dirty macking. Like if he does anything directing involving me, right?
right,
If you're doing just your own dirt and you're fucking on my bitch or whatever, like that's my woman.
yeah.
That's different. Like
But the messages was crazy though, bro. The message, bro.
just
Yo,
crazy.
she said in the messages, you was about to rearrange my IUD.
Oh
Yo,
my
imagine if your
god.
wife said that to another guy. You're like, oh my god, your IUD. That's what I'm saying. Like, just that, like. But honestly, though, I wouldn't even get like OD pissed because I'm like, I would call my girl like a cornball. Like, I just think that like you having a relationship with somebody else is corny. Like, I'm all just like, to me, if I cheat, it's straight physical. It's straight like I'm gonna treat you like a slut. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, like I can't wait to see you. Like, nah.
Right,
That's
yeah,
like
no, I'm not texting
that's
you
just
all
not
that.
my
I'm not
type.
taking you out. None of that. Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's not it.
when that happens, that is what's more like that's what drives that guy to do that. You know what I'm saying? To post it and do that whole thing. But hey, shout out to Steve Smith, man. Ruining families in your
Shout out
late
to Steve
40s.
Smith.
It never stops. You thought it stopped at 25. Hell no. You got some or you want me to keep going?
Nah, keep going.
Oh, yo, shout out to the NAACP Awards. Now, I didn't watch it, right?
Uh-huh.
But now, me and CDK are going to win a NAACP award. They have best podcast and that type of stuff. But until we get to that point, I thought it was great because we've always talked about how these white award shows, we never support them. I saw a big turnout. A lot of people were talking about it with a lot of moments. I don't really care to go through them. I just think that that's great. We're talking about something that's black, a black award show that we always talk about that should get the respect deserved. And I think in the past 3 or 4 years, I've been seeing like a lot of people really celebrate the NAACP award. So, and they kind of changed it. They don't say double A. It needs to be NAACP. They say NAACP, which is like,
Oh, for real?
yeah,
I
there's
still
like,
been saying NAACP. I didn't even know that
yeah,
it was changed.
yeah. They want, I guess, double A doesn't make it more, just
It sounds more like basketball to me. Like I feel like when you say NAACP,
yeah, yeah,
it's gonna take me
yeah,
a
yeah.
minute to get used to that. But yeah, shout out to like Kiki Palmer and stuff like that. And I don't know who the host was or if they did any of the entertainment stuff. But that's the good thing is that they focus more on the actual award and that black people are taking pride and look at this like a prestigious. Because I'm not gonna lie, we would be lying if we said all awards in the entertainment industry are valued the same. That's not
Correct.
true.
Hmm.
So when people think about the NAACP awards, they think about um, how people's humanitarian things they've done in the community. They think about you more so on a business and community level, and less on the actual entertainment the entertainer as themselves, and more of
Hmm.
who they are in the community.
Definitely, definitely. All right, moving on, yo. Yo, who made it normalized to just be naked online? It's so many people that have crossed that threshold of like, I got content on Twitter, or they like post shit like, when did that become out? I, I guess with OnlyFans, right? People are trying to draw people to the OnlyFans, but there are like women and men that are like okay with just being like naked and fucking on Twitter. I get the OnlyFans thing because you're getting paid for it, but it's like on people's Twitter, whatever. It's like I don't know when that was like. It used to be like, oh, I don't want my business out there or whatever. It used to be you would get exposed. Now people expose themselves. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it don't even be drive you to the OnlyFans. It just be to get attention, and that to me is on the lowest level of just filth. Just fingering yourself or jerking off on X just for like not even for OnlyFans. Okay, I get it, OnlyFans. All right, they just be doing it, and they just be, oh, I'm a freak. Go check out my Twitter. It's like,
For retweets and views and stuff. It's like, bro,
yeah,
like, yeah, that's what I'm like, bro. What happened to exposed culture? Like, that doesn't even bother people anymore.
no,
Now, mind you, we were kids when that was going on, so I don't know how they feel about it. But it's about to get to the point where these people that are doing this on Twitter, their kids are going to be old enough to speak about how they feel in these situations.
right,
Like, we're almost at that age. I feel like we got about 5 more years, and then it's going to start happening. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like the old people, like Pinky, and all.
hmm,
Well, she's a little older, but I think it's gonna get to that point. What happened to Shane, man? Like, I feel like we're overexposed to literally everything in the world right now. Like, and I think that's kind of like what strip culture away is we realize how similar we are to other
hmm,
people. When you used to have to travel and stuff like that, you would kind of like the things that are different would pop out to you. But
right,
the fact that you know now exactly what to do, what not to do, uh, and we're able to infiltrate culture, like we were talking about with the cowboy thing and the whole southern
hmm,
stuff, people are jumping into that because they see it's trendy on TikTok.
right,
And that's where it's coming from. It's not like you're actually engaged in trying to find somebody else's culture or learn
yeah,
and get into their things as well. So I think that's what's going on. We just overexposed.
yeah, overexposed and too connected, like way too connected. Like you can you can connect with people anywhere. So it's like the market is your world rather than just it would be locally, or you know what I'm saying. So it's like you can be naked on Twitter, and it's somebody, and you got niggas from Vermont that are your followers or from wherever, you know what I'm saying. And not saying that, to me it's just kind of crazy because the shelf life on your naked body is not that long. I don't care. I don't give a fuck how. I mean, you got to be able to turn it a little bit, you know.
Right.
And if you're doing it on Twitter, it's not going. Come on, man. Throw OnlyFans up there. That's all I'm saying. Like, get your, come on now. That's all I got. I do have a better days to come though.
What's up with your better days to come?
Okay. This is basically go where you're appreciated, and this based off of Shantae Moore. I don't know if you've seen her,
Name
but now,
sounds familiar.
yeah, oh yeah, Shantae Moore. She's, I mean, famous R&B singer. Shantae's Got a Man. She has like a lot of songs, and she was famous in the '90s. R&B singer.
Okay.
She went to China, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
she's in her 50s now. She went to China and did a singing show. Killed the show. I don't know if she won or not. Let's say she won. But now she is selling out. She's like one of the top acts in China right now, selling out arenas. And this is somebody that's been out since the 90s, like that black people know has hit R&B songs, and it's like a big act in China right now doing the same song she was doing in the 90s. Just because she went on this like singing TV show, she has a great whistle register, and that just made me think like, yo, just because we're if the niggas in your block or your state or your country think you corny or whatever, bro, go somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else.
Right,
there's
man.
somebody that there's somebody that thinks that's gonna think what you do is great. I mean, we've had these examples in American culture, not only with just American music, right? They go to different countries and whatever, but just the fact that they're not as big here, but they're huge over there. Like Stephon Marbury is a great example. He was okay here, he was with the Knicks or whatever, but is huge in China. Like has statues, his shoes sell out. So, hey man, find your audience, all right? And it don't necessarily have to be where you at. And of course, for her to have to go over there, she would have to assimilate to some type of culture. You know, it's the Chinese culture. But they embrace her, she embraces it, and that's like her big audience now. I mean, selling out stadiums, you know what I'm saying, over there. So shout out to her, man, because that's just a great story arc too. Not only just go where you're appreciated, but just like you're never too old to, you know what I'm saying, try new stuff. She was already a successful R&B singer. She went on a singing competition show. You know, like she could have said, "Nigga, she probably already won hella awards and stuff like that." But you know, so yeah.
I think the same thing about that. Like when you say go where you're appreciated, like you never know how other people will receive you. And I think, in being that we're talking about being over exposed to things, I think that we take a lot of things for granted in America, right? And I thought after the pandemic, that was really going to change how people moved, and it did for a while.
Mm,
And now we're back to where we were before. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say back. I do think that it's we're slowly going back into people wanting real human interaction, right?
yeah.
And my better days to come comes from a message from Pastor Mike when he was talking about essentially, what did he say? He was talking about I had it right here on my phone. Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
Sorry, Pastor Mike.
Yeah, sorry,
CDK
Pastor
doesn't
Mike.
really
Yeah,
pay
I'm
attention
sure
to your messages like
I
that.
do. Oh, boom. Peace is not when problems that occur. Peace,
Mm,
real peace, is when problems don't shake you and who you are. I've
mm.
recently gotten to this as an adult. Sorry, Pastor Mike. I should have had that memorized. But I recently got into this as an adult when funds might be not where I want them to be, when issues in my relationship may occur, when family things happen, when things out of my control happen. I've learned to find peace in the process and understanding that things are going to be all right because I've already prepared myself. And on a religious level, God has things set
Mm,
in my destiny. And as long as I'm doing things in the correct order, eventually things will realign because things are going to happen. And I used to be a type of person that tried to take routes to fix things or prepare for things to go left when you really
mhm.
can't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you can try
Yeah.
to put yourself in a better situation, but when you find peace and understanding that sometimes things will go left, and as long as you don't shake it and let it mess up your entire day or flow of things, it is what it is. Like I always be like, you know how people used to say it's above me? Like that's what I be feeling like it now. I'd be like, look, well,
Mhm.
that was gonna happen anyway. So here it is.
Yeah. I mean, and it just shows you're like, you know, when you do that, you're trying to control things and you really can't, you know what I'm saying? So being able to let that control go and just letting go in general is kind of what detachment, like we always talk about, just, you know, one of the biggest things. So, hey guys, we appreciate you listening to another episode of CDK and Horatio. You can follow me on all social media at Horatio Radio.
Follow me at CDK on the mic. You know where to find me, man.
Hey guys, we appreciate you. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.